a damn scary cat. You scared of a damn statue. Now let's start the damn show.
Let's start the damn show. Now, even though he already started, y'all, I could go back to the beginning, but you know, this video is 6 hours long. This is brother Sanchez. You know, this brother right here, man, to me, he's one of the sharpest out there in the game right now, man. I don't know. Hold up. I don't wanna. Let me skip the singing. Oh, shoot. Let me skip the music because I don't really know what channel. I'm assuming I'm gonna put this on GangStalking Simulation, but you never know. Might have to put it on the other platforms. But right now, what we talking about, D? What brother Sanchez? Right now, first of all, if you're a bot, just leave, just exit the room right now. If you're a blue pill, if you took the blue pill, if you took the blue pill, leave, exit the building. If you don't want to learn nothing, leave. If you stuck reading Psalms 91, leave. Leave right now. All right, this is brother Sanchez right now. You see the title? Statue of Liberty, Goddess, Devil, or something else. All right. Brother Sanchez is going in. This brother right here, man, is sharper than sharp. You know what I mean? Him, you know, you got some brothers out there that's real sharp, bro. I'm trying to tell you, you know. Brother Sanchez, man, you got to get his brother his cannabis flowers. Let's get it.
The history you got about the Statue of Liberty is wrong. So today, we're going to go into that hidden history. We got to start off with that. And once we get a foundation of the real history of this statue, of this star fort, then we can deal with why they wanted to hide this history behind spookism, mysticism, and fear. Let me give a big shout out to Sally McDermott. Hey, bro, nice to see you tonight. I was just watching the last one you did for the second time, and then Hoop. There you are. Much love, and much love right back to you, Sally. Let's go ahead and hop right into it. And this is a video from one of my favorite Tartarian channels. It's old. The channel is called Old World Secrets.
You gonna learn today.
They have the best video that I've seen so far on the Statue of Liberty. It's 30 minutes, and we're going to start off with a review of this video to lay the foundation of the history that's been stolen from us. If you are familiar with the hidden Tartarian empire and the old world that they deleted from history that was based upon free energy and electricity, drop a 1 in the chat room right now and let it be known that Sanchez, I'm already hip. I'm there with you. I'm following the wave in this Aquarian age. Let me know that me and you at the cutting edge of this awakening with this information. I want to know how many people is really about this life when it comes to researching and staying up to date with the new information in the community. So drop a 1 in the chat if you are already hip to Tartaria, old world history, and free energy in the past. Drop a 1. Let me see how many people in here that know about it. And we're going to start the video.
You want to skip it? So you can...
Might actually be a monument to the greatest falsification in human history. We've been lied to our entire lives about the origin of the Statue of Liberty. History textbooks, guidebooks, official documents, they all repeat the same rehearsed mantra about a gift from France for the centennial of the United States of America's independence. But what if I told you that this colossus of copper and steel physically could not have been built the way it's described to us? What if 19th century engineers attributed to themselves the achievements of a civilization they themselves helped erase from the face of the earth? Prepare yourselves, because today we will dismantle the foundation of official history, and there will be no turning back. Look closely at this monument. Cast aside the romantic fluff about international friendship and look at the facts through the eyes of an engineer, a metallurgist, and a logistics specialist. Before us is a structure 93 meters high with a total weight of 254 tons. The official version states that the framework for this colossal lady was designed by none other than Gustave Eiffel, the very creator of the famous tower in Paris. Sounds convincing, right? A brand, a name, an authority. But let's dig deeper to where the devil hides. Into the details of the manufacturing process and metallurgy of that era. They try to convince us that in the 1880s, when the metallurgical industry was just beginning to transition from artisanal production to industrial scales, engineers easily created a highly complex load-bearing framework capable of withstanding colossal wind loads in New York Harbor. But here's the first inconvenient fact that makes historians' eyes twitch. It concerns the steel and wrought iron itself. To create such a framework, more than just ore was needed. A technology for mass, uninterrupted production of steel of uniform quality was required. Recall what the Bessemer process and open hearth furnaces are. In the 70s and 80s of the 19th century, these technologies were capricious, expensive, and far from ubiquitous. Steel was a material for elite products, for weapons, for tools, but not for pouring thousands of tons of it into the frameworks of statues supposedly given away for free. An analysis of archival data on steel production in France during that period reveals strange anomalies. The production volumes do not correspond to the stated scale of construction, which was carried out simultaneously on both sides of the Atlantic. Where did this metal come from? Where were those giant factories capable of casting and rolling such beams with perfect geometry?
Come on now. These are things, see, before we can even get into addressing the fear-mongering and the whole thing about the Statue of Liberty being Lucifer, we got to start here in Tartaria in the old world to show you exactly the history you haven't been told about the Statue of Liberty, which is what we're doing now thanks to Old World Secrets. I can do that in a very convenient way by just reviewing this very informative video that I recommend you guys to not only follow this video, but to follow the channel Old World Secrets.
Old World Secrets.
We are shown black and white photographs where mustachioed men in bowler hats pose against individual fragments.
Now, I know none of y'all never heard that before, that the Statue of Liberty is Lucifer. And not only that, but you are Lucifer too. Can I get an hello there?
But have you ever noticed that these photos almost never show the actual process of assembling the load-bearing nodes in real time? We see already finished pieces lying on the ground, or an already assembled structure within scaffolding. Where are the intermediate stages? Where is the photographic evidence of how these multi-ton beams were lifted to height without hydraulic cranes, using only primitive winches and hemp ropes? Imagine the physics of the process.
Facts.
So when you think about the technology that they was using at the time, you start to see something's wrong with what we've been told about the history of the Statue of Liberty. See, history is a lie, and it goes for all history, man. The automobile industry, the music industry, you can't pick no industry. You can't pick nothing that don't have a false history, because everything was reset on Earth at the end of the 1800s.
And then at the same time too, you gotta understand the fact that, you know, in this day and time, we in it's 2026, so-called 2026. We really don't know what time it is. According to we're going by the Gregorian calendar. We really don't know what year it is, right? Even the Matrix said that it was like 36 or some shit. But anyway, they try to make it seem like back in this time, you know, they didn't have the technology that we have today. But that really is a bullshit ass lie. You know what I mean? You don't know what the hell. Obviously, they had the technology. Obviously, they probably even had better back then. You know, because they still act like they can't even figure out how the hell they built the pyramids. So if they can't figure out how the hell they build them, like, you know what I'm talking about? So either the technology that they had back then is better than what we have today, Or it could just be the same technology, but they just, keeping everything on the hush hush because they don't really want you to know what the hell they got out there. They don't. So that's why they give you these little laptops and these cell phones and to get you, excited about that. But you have no idea that they can see through your eyes and read your brain and all and interpret your dreams and plant dreams. And that's why you got these people out here having these Christian folk having these dreams about the rapture. And look what happened. Rapture was supposed to have happened about 5 months ago, 3 months ago, right? 2025. All them Christians up there talking about they done all had these vivid dreams about the rapture. You don't understand, you don't know nothing about DARPA. You don't know nothing about NASA and the technology that they have, that they can beam and implant dreams into your fucking head. So where you can have these fake dreams, these simulated dreams, and it got y'all all spooked up thinking that rapture was going to happen, and look what happened. Nothing but more gang stalkers out here running around acting a damn fool.
They had to rewrite everything, and when they did it, they rewrote history to their advantage. And I'm going to explain more, but I don't want to talk too much because a lot of what I want to say is going to be said in this video.
Lifting a beam weighing several tons to a height of 50 meters in strong winds from the bay, using wooden scaffolding and manual labor. This is a deadly attraction that should have claimed the lives of hundreds of workers.
Lifting steel beams that weigh hundreds of tons with hemp ropes. Hauling this kind of steel on wooden ships.
Now you see why they're trying to ban hemp. If hemp that damn strong, that they could carry beams like that.
My thing is, if we're building steel statues, how are we on wooden ships? Because the steel was in its infancy during this time. It ain't like we weren't manufacturing steel. But the process and all that was still in its infancy, and it wasn't on a level of doing nothing nowhere near the Statue of Liberty.
But in the reports, silence. No mass tragedies, no technical failures. Everything went smoothly, as if they were assembling a plastic construction toy, not erecting a megalithic metal structure. And here we come to the main question that makes us doubt the dating. What if the framework wasn't built at the end of the 19th century? What if Gustave Eiffel and sculptor Bartholdi didn't create the statue from scratch, but were engaged in something entirely different? Look at the structure of the framework itself. It's not just a support. It's a complex engineering grid that suspiciously resembles technologies we only began to rediscover in the mid-20th century. The principle of a curtain wall, where the outer shell carries no load but hangs on an internal core, became standard for skyscraper construction much later. How did they figure this out back when brick and stone were still the primary building materials for tall buildings? There is a version that explains all these inconsistencies with one terrifying blow of truth. The Statue of Liberty is not a 19th century novelty. It is a refaced, restored object from a much older era. An era when working with metal and gigantic structures was commonplace, not a feat. 19th century engineers did not invent steel where it couldn't have existed. They found it. They discovered a framework that survived a catastrophe that destroyed a past civilization. And their task was not to build, but to disguise. To clad an ancient skeleton with copper sheets, give it the appearance of an ancient goddess, and pass it off as an achievement of modern industry. You might ask, why such an elaborate lie? The answer is simple and cynical. To conceal the very existence of technologies that surpassed steam engines and coal furnaces. To admit that this framework stood here long before the arrival of the first colonists would mean to nullify all official chronology.
Yeah.
It would mean admitting that we live on the ruins of a great world that was erased. And the Statue of Liberty is not a symbol of a new light, but a tombstone of the old. But the framework is only the tip of the iceberg. Let's look lower, at what this statue stands on. The granite pedestal. And
I told y'all about that pedestal, didn't I? I told y'all that the Statue of Liberty is erected on a pedestal because it's made in the image of all these gods. Here go a patriarchal version of the Statue of Liberty. I'm not going to do the symbolism right now, but the Statue of Liberty is on top of a box. And I did this in my last stream, but I'm also going to do it again for you guys at the end of this video. I'm going to explain why the Statue of Liberty is exalted on top of that cube, because on a spiritual level is representing liberation of the soul coming up out the cube of Saturn. And there's many other goddesses where we can see this. It's not nothing that they're creating themselves. Like, it's not an original idea. Here is a version of Lady Liberty right here. Lady Liberty with the scales is just their form of Ma'at. Everyone know Liberty is Libra. That's the scales, is justice and equality for all. But we know that the people in power didn't come up with Lady Liberty. They didn't come up with Ma'at. And they want y'all to demonize this concept of balance when we can see it all around the world. I'll show you other variations of it right now. Check this out. All of these are different variations of Ma'at or balance. And here is the oldest one right here in Tucson, Arizona. Let me clear the screen. On the far left here, that is the one we see with the Dogon as well. See, here it is right here, Lady Liberty. In the top right corner, you got Ma'at with the balance scales, but it's cosmology. The balancing scales is the sun and the moon. Neither one of them is tilted. It's showing you the equality between masculine and feminine, yin and yang. It's showing you the equality between night and day. And here we see right here in Freemasonry, Mater and Pater is mom and daddy. Look at there. The light of the sun, that's Pater. Papa, that's father. And then Mater is mother. They come together and they create time in the earth realm. This is cosmic marriage, balance, yin-yang. But what do they teach you? God and the devil fighting each other. And we wonder why the household broke up. Because it's magic. It's science. As above, so below. If we are telling ourselves that it's chaos in the heavens, then it's going to be chaos in the household.
Wow. Preach.
If in our mind we agree that the luminaries, the stars, are not even getting along, then we ain't gonna get along, and we'll have an excuse to why we don't get along by saying it's just natural. Nothing get along. But that division is a program that we running from the people in power. Because we can create whatever we agree on as a collective. And they decide, they telling you what to be scared of, what not to be scared of, and all that. So they are forging a reality for themselves through us. So we literally have the power, but we're just being duped and misused.
Just imagine how peaceful it would be down here. You know, like everything is manipulated. Like even the weather. When you're in the East Coast, you got to deal with the freezing cold, and then the summertime comes, it's blazing hot. But then they got hard weather control, so they can control the weather. So really, if you can control the weather, then that means everything should be perfect. It should be fucking 70 degrees every day. You should hear a number of birds chirping all peacefully. No chemtrails in the sky. But, but what we see every day is all by design because the devil runs this. And when I say the devil, I know y'all Christian folk that's watching, I'm not talking about that type. This devil is your government that you love, that you bow down to.
Using it. But here is older versions of the goddess Ma'at right here. It's all just balancing the scales, Libra, Liberty, Lady Liberty. Here is an ancient god called Baal. And again, they want you to be scared of this stuff. Baal is the devil. Baal is the boogeyman.
The boogeyman. Tell him, Sanchez.
Man, Ball is Jan said scared of this stuff. Ball is the devil. Ball is the boogeyman, Sanchez.
Ball.
Man, Ball is just an archetype that represents balance and
That's
the
it.
same thing that Ma'at represents.
That's it. Ball, B-A-A-L, Ball. Y'all scared of this? Just as well as y'all scared of the dang on Baphomet. Baphomet means polarities, balance. It, like he said, Ma'at means balance. It ain't nothing but an archetype. That's it. They got y'all spooked over nothing.
Equality. Now, if people in power wanted to hide equality, if they wanted to hide unity from everybody, what would they do, y'all? They'll cover it in fear. They will cover it in spookism and mysticism, like I told you earlier. That's why I told y'all that. Because throughout the show, I'm going to be showing you how the images I'm showing y'all, people going to be correcting me in the chat and in the comments saying, Sanchez giving y'all Satanism. Sanchez, that stuff you teaching is the devil and you leading the people astray. You know that that's Lucifer. These are people that we might not be able to help, y'all.
Right.
It's levels to awakening.
It's levels.
And everybody not going to fully awake. I'm
Everybody
trying to
gonna
share
make
some
it.
with y'all. We can't help them. Whenever
Everybody ain't gonna make it. And most of them people just bias anyway.
you conclude with fear, mysticism, and all that, you can't fully awaken. You're going to get back in the bed and go up under the cover. Why? Because the boogeyman under the bed. And you put him there in your mind.
Facts.
All right?
You put the boogeyman there.
So my thing is this. I can show you many
You was watching Poltergeist at the age of 3 or 4 or 5 and got scared to death.
variations of Lady Liberty. And then you don't forget, you're going to have the people that want to change the conversation to, but is it a man or a woman? And they going to miss their awakening with that crap. They got so many traps for y'all to stop y'all from seeing the real history of free energy, balance, unity, liberty, which is freeing yourself from the damn matrix like this God right here called Sakar. And this is how you get the famous part of the Matrix movie with Neo breaking out of his little pod. That come from ancient cosmology. They ain't making nothing up in these movies. Now here is another form of being liberated.
Them folk that make these movies, these directors and producers, they study the arts. Most of them are all down with occultism. That's right. They know all about the science, the esoteric mysticism. You know, they know that you don't know. You see what I'm saying? They know that you don't know. Because you too busy reading Psalm 91 like that's the only book on the planet. You still going to church saying Jesus on the main line when you got all this other information out here that you scared to touch. Because you's a pussy.
Liberation. The statue of liberation or liberty. Showing you the soul rising up from the waters. That's why the Statue of Liberty is built on an island. Because what they're trying to teach you is the secrets of consciousness and the pineal gland. If you look at the island that the Statue of Liberty is built on, it resembles the skull and the brain and the cranium. And I'm going to show you that in a second before we get back to the video. So wait, because we are going to get back to the video, but I got to plug this part in now that I open this can of worms. When we build a Statue of Liberty on this island surrounded by water, we ain't doing nothing new, y'all. Another form of Lady Liberty, her name is Oshun to the Yoruban people. And look at her. She got the spikes on her head too. The goddess that we're calling Oshun in the top right corner, wearing her yellow dress right here. This goddess is older than the Statue of Liberty. And she's always shown with spikes on her head. Like the Statue of Liberty, this is the Lady Guadalupe in South America. That's this goddess. And look, she's called Oshun because she represents the primordial waters being open. Birth, rebirth, liberation. That's when someone say my waters broke. Oshun is the goddess of pregnancy and the ethereal waters breaking open so that the soul can go through the stargate. And when it does that on a biological level, on a higher plane, the mama's water symbolic break because you're being born physically and spiritually.
Wow.
And so this is the cosmic mother, the great mother.
The great mother. And you notice all these deities always have like the sun radiating. You see the sun? Same with your Jesus. It's always a halo or a sun. You see the sun right here? See the rays beaming from the sun? You see even the Statue of Liberty got the spikes. The spikes represents the sun. Look, this is the demiurge right here. The demiurge got the sun. The sun. I know it was the sun. I know it was the sun for me, yeah.
Right? And that became Lady Liberty. Now, if you wanted to demonize this beautiful goddess and what she represents, of course you would, in Western world, we call it Lady Liberty, and then we start attaching all the New Age spookism that the social engineers want to attach to it. Here is an older form of Lady Liberty. This is a serpent lion deity called Socolus, which is a form of the demiurge. The demiurge is the lower self. It's the part of you that's bound to the earth realm. They tell a story about a demiurge god, but your fallen consciousness is the demiurge, sir. It's time that we grow up and start to embody these stories because we are the ones they speak of. That's right! We're the fallen ones. Once we grow up and start to embody these stories because we are the ones they speak of. That's right!
That's right!
We're the fallen ones. And so this symbol is a symbol of Kundalini energy in the form of a...
You got to find your way back. A lot of y'all going to have to repeat the 6th grade.
Serpent lion. And we can see that it splits the brain, the left brain and right brain, being the sun and moon. The moon governs the right brain. The sun governs the left brain. The sun is all about survival and instinct in the earth realm, and the moon is the opposite. It's dealing with spiritual.
I want to have a moment of silence real quick for my cousin. My cousin passed away. You know what I'm saying? He'll be back, though. Just have a moment of silence real quick. Yeah, he'll be back. You know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't woke.
Reality. So the two celestial spheres that give us night and day, the light of each one is feeding a different half of your consciousness. Because you exist as a yin and a yang, a force of negative and positive energy bonded together, which is what the Baphomet symbolizes. This is the secret of energy. Because in order to generate energy, you got to balance polarities. So if I wanted to keep you away from free energy, guess what?
Y'all scared of this. That's the demiurge over there on the left. Baphomet is in the circle, in the center, I mean. And then we got polarities, yin and yang, is what that image is. That's on the right. And you can get that as a charm, because I was going to get that as a talisman on Amazon.
I would demonize all this.
Yeah.
The reason why Satan is called a light bearer is because this God is personifying the split in the brain. Look at the brain image. I got an image of your brain right here. Look, this is your brain. This is about you. Quit demonizing.
This is your brain on grill.
Look at you. And when you cut your brain open, this is the seat of the soul. This is the man with the big boots on is Santa Claus. At the center, Santa. Look at him. That was a story about us. Santa is Satan, the fallen one. We are all Satan, y'all.
Dang.
Satan ain't one dude that's walking around invisible. Satan ain't what you think it is with your spooky little ideas.
Facts.
Satan is the darkest part in every human being.
Facts.
That's right. You're part Satan and you're part God.
Yep.
And the battle of God and the devil is taking place inside of every human.
And this is why, it's important for you to, a lot of y'all ain't gonna be able to do it on this lifetime, but if you study the arts, you will take it's called the left-hand path, and you will go into the deepest, darkest part of yourself, because you are God and you are the devil. And I remember Reverend Ike said it a long time ago. Rest in peace, Reverend Ike. I think he did. He said it long. He said, I am Jesus, and to the people in this church. And he said, and guess what? I am the devil too. Reverend Knight was way before his time, player.
Every day you get up and strive to do what's right, you're fighting the good spiritual battle of good, and you strive to do place inside of every human. Every day you get up and strive to do what's right, you're fighting the good spiritual battle of good and evil.
Wow.
The choices we make are the strongest actions in the universe. So the more we choose good, the more that the forces of positivity win. It's as simple as a choice. It ain't no boogeyman. That's right. You out there looking for a monster that's to explain why you're making bad choices. No, you're making bad choices because you don't have discipline.
Fact.
You ain't wrestling with your flesh, because we get so doggone woke with all this knowledge that we think that the Christians don't know what they talking about just because they believe in Jesus and we know more than them. But they do know what they talking about when they say that you got to battle the flesh and you got to strive to do what's right. I don't give a damn how much knowledge you got. That's basic. And if you know that, you can ascend. Facts.
And that's real shit. And I just quoted that scripture on one of my previous videos. In the book of Galatians, it says that he that sows to the flesh reaps corruption, but he that sows to the spirit reaps everlasting life. You're in a constant battle down this joint just by being in the body. We look, never mind of what's going on the outside with the government, the archons, and the gang stalking. Just you being in this body is still a battle, because the flesh wants to do what it wants to do, but you got to allow the spirit man to drive the car. Because if you allow the flesh to drive, I'm running out of storage. If you allow the flesh to drive, then you're just going to be in a whole heap of trouble. I'm going to say it one more time. I'm going to have to stop this video. If you allow the flesh to drive, then drive the vehicle, then you're in a shitload of trouble. He's going to take you straight to hell. You know what I mean? So this is the reason why it is a constant war, just by being in this physical body. This body is condemned to sin. It wants to do the dumb shit and get you all in trouble. With that being said, yo, I'm gonna stop the video because we're running out of space, man. Shout out to my brother Sanchez. I'm gonna try to get some more of this. As you can see, this video right here is 6 hours long, man. This brother long-winded. He does this for real. This right here is for everybody. I don't even want you in this. I don't even want you watching this if you're not about this life. Just go ahead and turn Jimmy Swagger on or something. Go ahead. Holla, because I don't want to read your dumb comments. I don't want to read your dumb comments. All right, so this right here is for the super red black pills only. Holla back, we out.